Hey guys, this is gonna be my first video on this channel. I hope you guys enjoy. I might stutter a lot. Also, yeah, so that's gonna happen. So this channel is pretty much meant for me to tell funny stories. Some might be long, some might be shorter. Kind of a little bit of both. But I really hope you guys enjoy this first video. And we're gonna start off with one of my better stories. And yes, there is blood in it, alright? So if you can't even not pass out with hearing blood, then not the best video for you, cause it ain't pretty, this video. Alright, so this story I'm about to tell you happened in the 3rd grade. This was my very first major injury. So I've had a couple now. I've actually never broken a bone either, which is really lucky. I don't know how. And I'm not a selfish person. I don't try not to get hurt, because I get hurt a lot. But this is my very first major injury. Alright. So, one day in the 3rd grade, it's summer, and my dad's outside, and he's trying to set up a basketball hoop for me. Thank you, Dad. So let's say my dad's name is Terry, because I don't need you guys knowing everything about my first vid. Alright, so my dad is outside trying to fix my basketball hoop. So I walk over to him, and I'm like, Dad, I'm really hungry. Can I have some food? And he's like, I'm doing something. So when my dad does stuff, he's not the nicest person. He does not like it when you interrupt him doing something. So I was breaking multiple rules. Alright, so then I'm like, fine, then I'll make myself food. And I was being a little brat, because I was a little brat when I was younger. So after that, I start to go inside, and Dad's not noticing anything, because, why would he? He's my dad. And, he's my dad, and he's still trying to do something. So I start going inside, and my brother's there also, and he tells me, wait, where are you going? And I tell him inside, but he's like, and then he said, but Mama didn't. My brother's a total tattletale, by the way. You'll hear a lot about him in later videos. So I go inside, and you know those dumb Costco or grocery store bagels that aren't pre-cut? As a 3-year-old, those things are like the devil to me. I hated them, because I didn't know how to cut anything. I was in 3rd grade. I was pretty useless. So I didn't know how to cut it. So I grabbed maybe the sharpest knife in the kitchen and go ham on that bagel. And the first one, I actually was doing a half decent job, and then it went sideways, and I cut the bagel horribly wrong. So then I threw away the bagel, because I'm like, I'm not eating that. So that happened. So after that, I start cutting the second bagel, and then, chink, I cut my hand wide open. It was a big scar. I still have a scar to this day, actually. But it was pretty nasty. So when I'm there, I'm freaking out, because I've, barely even seen blood before, let alone having it come out of me. So I'm freaking out. I start sprinting I sprint to the little dresser kind of thing in our kitchen, because usually it has Band-Aids, except I couldn't find a single Band-Aid in there. And mind you, I'm still bleeding out right now. So when I sprint all the way upstairs to my parents' bathroom, and when I get there, I look, and the only the only bandages I see are those little tiny like mini ones that like stink. They're so bad. So I put on like 5 of them, and it started to slow down. So then I put on more and more and more and more and more and more. And it was to a point where there was about 20 bandages on my hand. So I'm still freaking out because it's still bleeding. 20 mini bandages on my hand and it's still bleeding. So I'm still freaking out. My dad finally comes inside, and I don't want him to know because then I think third grade me thinks that he'll ground me for some reason. So that happens. And so I go and hide it. I try to hide it, which I did. So then, about 3.5 hours later, me and my dad are playing catch outside with a football. And you won't believe this, but he looks on my hand, and he's like, "What's that on your hand?" I'm like, "Huh?" And I look down and remember, and I'm like, "Oh, it's nothing." And then he starts coming closer and closer, and I'm like, "Oh, God." So, and then finally he's like, "Oh my gosh." And then he took it off, and then he sees like what I did to my hand. He immediately says, "Get in the car right now." So then we rush over to the emergency room. All of a sudden my mom's there, my grandparents are there. I'm freaking out because everyone else is freaking out. It was pretty chaotic. So I ended up having to get emergency room stitches done like within the next hour. And it's super funny because I didn't feel a thing when I was getting the stitches. Like nothing. I said, "Daddy, can I have your phone?" I literally almost didn't know what was happening. So that's the first story of my first ever major injury. I hope you guys enjoyed first video. It is kind of one on the longer side of my stories. Whoa. So I hope you enjoy. I hope that I was entertaining enough for you to subscribe. I would appreciate it. It's free, so like why not? I hope you enjoyed. See ya. Thanks for watching. Bye.